So I'm facing what appears to be a pretty epic thunderstorm right now, and actually I just walked through some hail, and yet you'll notice that the sun is out still. Weather. So those of you who have been following my videos for an extended amount of time will know that I'm obsessed with fairy tales. And for the rest of you, I'm obsessed with fairy tales. I like the stories, I like studying them, I like studying different versions of them from different countries, which is why I know so much about the different versions of Cinderella's story. But I'm not going to talk about the Cinderella story today. Today the story that I'm going to talk about is Rumplestiltskin. Rumplestiltskin is quite possibly one of the more screwed up fairy tales. I mean, really, think about it for a minute. I mean, it's one of those stories that you've heard since childhood, but it's also one of those stories that if you were to pick it up and just read it without any knowledge of it, you would finish reading the story going, WTF? I mean, why is the father saying that his daughter can spin straw into gold when obviously she can't? Why does the king believe that the daughter can spin straw into gold? Why does Rumpelstiltskin accept a payment of a golden ring when he has the ability to spin straw into gold? And why does the whole name-guessing thing come up? Why doesn't Rumpelstiltskin just take the kid and leave? Kind of sounds like a story that was told through a giant game of telephone. And that, in fact, is Vivian Van Veld's perception of the story, which is what led her to write The Rumpelstiltskin Problem, which is today's book review. Took me a while to get to it, didn't it? This is a collection of 6 stories, and each of these stories attempts to answer those questions about Rumpelstiltskin. Essentially attempts to make sense out of the story. Each one of these 6 stories takes a very different point of view of the Rumpelstiltskin story. In one of the stories, Rumpelstiltskin is a troll who wants nothing more than to eat a baby, and so devises this huge elaborate plot in order to get one. In another one, the Rumpelstiltskin character is this gentle creature who wants nothing more than to make people happy, and so attempts to do so, and the events of the story unfold in that way. I really like retellings of fairy tales. I always get a kick out of the creative ways that people think to tell these tales and ways that kind of make a little bit more sense. And these stories do that, and these stories also play around with the idea of storytelling changing over time by oral tradition. These stories are kind of explanations as to what might have really happened that eventually led to the tale that we know. The actual events that were then spread by word of mouth and changed over time, like a giant game of telephone, into the rather screwed up Rumpelstiltskin story that we all know and some of us love. And if you enjoy fairy tales and different variations on fairy tales and different perceptions of fairy tales, this is an excellent book. The Rumpelstiltskin Problem by Vivian Van Veld. It also has the benefit of being short, so yay fairy tales. And with that, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye now.